Think about the last time you locked eyes with someone and felt a spark you couldn't explain. No words, no confessions, just that electric pull. If you've ever wondered whether that was real or just your imagination, you're about to find out. Have you ever met someone and immediately sensed that something was going on beneath the surface, yet neither of you dared to put it into words? It feels as though the air itself carries that energy, an unspoken chemistry that refuses to be ignored. The real question becomes, how do you know whether what you're feeling is genuine or simply a trick of your imagination? The truth is, there are quiet signals. Today, I'll take you through 9 signs of silent mutual attraction. These are the little gestures, the subtle habits, and the wordless signals that reveal when two people are quietly being pulled toward one another. There is something about eye contact that words will never be able to capture fully. Think of those moments when you're in conversation and their eyes hold yours just a little longer than normal. It isn't the casual glance you'd exchange with a stranger in a store or the brief acknowledgement you'd give someone passing by. This feels different. It seems as if they're not only looking at you but almost looking into you, as though their gaze brushes against something deeper inside. That kind of eye contact is one of the clearest hints of hidden attraction, because when both people maintain it creates a pocket of intimacy that feels impossible to deny. Eye contact like this does not happen by accident. We're taught to glance away quickly, since holding someone's gaze for too long can feel awkward or even confrontational. But when attraction is present, neither of you hurries to break the silence of that gaze. Instead, the eyes stay. That lingering moment builds a little bubble where time slows, where it seems you're caught in a pause the rest of the world doesn't notice. The quiet intensity of that shared gaze communicates more than whole conversations ever could. And think about how rare that is in daily life. Most people are distracted, checking notifications, scanning the room, or avoiding eye contact because it can feel exposing. But when you find yourself locked into someone's gaze and they refuse to look away either, it reveals something else entirely. It's a mutual readiness to be seen. That kind of openness is attraction in its rawest form. It isn't just curiosity, it's a silent declaration that says, I want to connect with you. That is why prolonged eye contact feels magnetic. It's not only the length of the gaze that matters, but also the feeling inside it. When attraction exists, the eyes soften. Sometimes there's a spark of mischief hiding there, other times a gentle seriousness that feels almost sacred. Pupils dilate, the face relaxes, and suddenly the entire conversation is carried through the eyes. No witty comment, no carefully chosen line is needed. The energy between you fills the space. It is silent, but somehow it speaks louder than words. Of course, not every long stare carries romance. People may keep eye contact for other purposes: power, persuasion, or habit. The real difference lies in the exchange. If you feel that pull in your chest and you see that same charge mirrored back in their face, it isn't by chance, it's chemistry. When they meet your gaze, break it briefly, then return with a faint knowing smile. It becomes a rhythm. It feels like a dance neither of you practiced, but both of you instinctively know. That sort of eye contact often leaves you buzzing afterward. You catch yourself replaying it later, trying to understand why it affected you so much. The explanation is simple. The brain treats deep eye contact as intimacy. It releases oxytocin, the chemical of bonding, which creates closeness. And when attraction is shared, that chemical reaction doubles, leaving that moment engraved in memory. It becomes a private replay, a connection you can't easily put into words. So when you're unsure if someone feels the same spark you do, pay attention to their eyes. Do they linger? Do they soften? Do they find their way back to yours even after drifting away? That's not random. That's attraction showing itself in one of the most natural ways humans know. Another intriguing sign of quiet attraction is something most people rarely notice while it's happening: mirroring. Mirroring takes place when someone unconsciously copies your gestures, tone, or movements without planning to. Maybe you fold your arms and seconds later they do too. Maybe you lean forward slightly, and suddenly they're leaning forward as well. It isn't something people plot out. It's a subconscious signal saying, I'm aligned with you, I feel close to you. What makes mirroring so fascinating is that it works beneath logic. It's instinctive. When we're drawn to someone, the mind naturally seeks harmony. Without words, it matches energy. If you've ever observed two people laughing together, leaning in the same way, tilting their heads at the same moment, or even sipping their drinks nearly at the same time, that's mirroring unfolding right before your eyes. It shows that beneath the surface, their rhythms are in tune. What makes mirroring beautiful is how effortless it feels. It doesn't look staged. It's like a natural choreography between two people pulled toward each other. You can tell it apart from polite manners because it carries more weight. Courtesy is about being nice. Mirroring is about resonance. It's the body's quiet way of signaling interest. And timing is key. When attraction is involved, mirroring happens almost instantly. You smile, and without thinking, they smile too. You tilt your head, and theirs follows naturally. It's not about trying to impress or copy you. It's about the rhythm you both slip into without trying. Mirroring shows itself in language as well. Have you ever noticed how two people who like each other often start borrowing the same words or playful sayings? One person teases with a certain phrase, and the other instantly responds with the same energy. Their speech starts to echo each other. Their pace matches. Suddenly, it's as though they're speaking a shared language no one else quite understands. That's verbal mirroring, another layer of closeness, and it signals more than attraction. It shows emotional alignment. The effect of mirroring is incredibly powerful. It makes people feel seen and understood without realizing why. When someone mirrors us, it sends an unspoken signal: we're alike, we fit together. That sense of similarity builds comfort and trust, which then feeds attraction. It explains why conversations can feel effortless, why hours pass without notice, why you start craving more of their presence. Mirroring builds a sense of belonging in the smallest, quietest ways. So if you're trying to figure out whether attraction is shared, don't just focus on the words being said. Pay attention to posture, hand movements, facial expressions, tone of voice. Notice if they are subtly copying your gestures, matching your vibe, reflecting your emotions. If they are, it's not random. That's biology blending with emotion. It's their body expressing feelings that their words may never openly admit. Another strong but often overlooked sign of shared attraction is physical nearness. Attraction naturally pulls people closer. You see it in the little choices they make, choosing the seat beside you when plenty of others are free, leaning your way instead of staying upright, brushing against your arm when there was enough room to avoid it. These touches may look like nothing at first, but they carry a deeper meaning. The body wants to close the gap when chemistry exists. What's fascinating is how these moves usually have no logical reason. No one needs to lean in that close just to hear you. They don't need to stand almost against you in a crowd, yet they do. Why? Because being close feels better than staying apart. Their body moves like a magnet, drawn into your space. And when you catch yourself doing the same, inching closer without even thinking, that's one of the clearest confirmations that the pull goes both ways. Think back to those conversations that left you buzzing inside. It was more than just laughter or eye contact. There was closeness. You leaned forward. They leaned forward. Maybe your knees touched under the table, or your arms brushed while walking side by side. None of that was by chance. Those are physical ways of saying, I want to be near you. This kind of closeness matters because personal space is valuable. We don't casually let anyone into that invisible bubble around us. So when someone willingly steps into it, especially when they don't have to, it shows comfort, interest, and desire. And when both people are quietly closing that space at the same time, it's proof of a shared attraction that doesn't need to be spoken. Physical closeness almost creates a hidden world between two people. separating them from the rest of the environment even when surrounded by others. It's not just about direct touch. It's about the subtle need to create a chance for touch. Attraction often appears in these tiny moves, standing close enough that your fingers might brush, choosing to walk shoulder to shoulder, even sliding your chair a little closer than needed. These are subconscious signs of curiosity and attraction. They're ways of testing the waters, seeing if the other person welcomes closeness. And when both people allow it, or even lean further into it, that's one of the strongest signs that the feeling is mutual. Being close also intensifies the energy between two people. When someone you're drawn to stands near you, your heartbeat speeds up. Suddenly, you notice everything about them more clearly. The way they shift their weight, the rhythm of their breathing, even the faint trace of their scent. Every detail feels sharper. That heightened awareness is your body's way of showing desire. And when you see the other person responding the same way, leaning in when your voice lowers, staying near even when the topic changes, it's clear they feel that same pull. What makes nearness so powerful is how it moves the interaction from casual to intimate without a single word being spoken. You don't need to announce your interest. It's enough to step closer, and if they instinctively match that step, you both silently confirm the connection. Over time, that closeness creates comfort while also building a kind of tension, the kind that lingers and keeps both people thinking of each other long after they've walked away. So if you're trying to figure out whether the attraction is real, pay attention to the space between you. Notice if they choose closeness over distance, if they lean your way or find little excuses for your paths to cross. Because when attraction is alive, space itself becomes a chance, and nearness turns into the language of desire. When attraction hums between two people, another vivid way it shows is through playful teasing. Teasing is rarely about the words themselves. It's about the spark beneath them. It's when someone makes a light-hearted joke, points out something unique about you, or tosses you a cheeky challenge. That spark of banter creates tension, the fun kind that makes you smile, lean in, and want the moment to last. Teasing is really a subtle way of saying, "I notice you," without having to be direct. The beauty of teasing is how it builds a small private space between two people. When you slip into that rhythm of banter, it feels like you're sharing an inside joke that no one else is part of. Even in a crowded room, that playful back and forth becomes your personal conversation. The actual topic doesn't matter. It could be silly, it could be trivial. What matters is that you're locked into the flow, trading energy with ease. That shared playfulness often beats at the center of mutual attraction. Teasing also works because it balances fun with safety. On the surface, you're poking fun, but underneath, what you're really saying is, "I trust you enough to play this game." And when the other person doesn't get upset, but instead laughs or shoots a witty remark right back, it proves they feel that same mix of comfort and excitement. It's like tossing a ball. You throw it, they catch it, then toss it back. Each playful jab is really an invitation, and when they eagerly send it back, it's a clear sign they want to keep the exchange alive. It may sometimes come across as exaggerated complaints, playful overstatements, or even mock challenges like, "I bet you wouldn't dare to try that." These kinds of remarks aren't made with the intention to wound or cause hurt. They're offered to ignite something, to spark a little flame of tension wrapped in fun. They create just enough friction to draw someone in, while still being wrapped in laughter, warmth, and lightness. That is why teasing remains one of the clearest and most reliable markers of attraction. It brings together tension and connection in a way that feels natural and effortless, almost like a dance where both people know the steps without ever being taught. You can often sense the difference between ordinary polite conversation and genuine playful banter. Small talk tends to stay safe, cautious, and predictable. Banter, on the other hand, thrives on surprise, on spontaneity, and on testing limits just enough to create sparks without crossing into cruelty. When two people feel pulled toward one another, conversations rarely stay restrained for very long. They drift toward play, toward teasing, toward remarks that feel a little more personal, a little more daring. That subtle edge makes it clear that this interaction is more than friendliness. It is charged with an extra layer of meaning that cannot be ignored. What makes playful teasing so unforgettable is the way it stays with you long after the moment has passed. You catch yourself replaying a clever comment in your head or remembering the sound of their laugh when you teased them back. Those moments stick because they feel emotionally alive, bursting with energy that lingers. Teasing isn't only about the words themselves, it's about the pauses, the glances, the way someone smiles when they push you just a little, or the spark of laughter that follows. Our brains hold tightly to those highs, building anticipation and excitement for the next encounter. That is why playful exchanges so often become the highlight of your day, the memory that rises when you're alone, the moment that turns ordinary interaction into something magnetic. So if you're trying to understand whether there is unspoken mutual attraction, pay close attention to the amount of playful teasing that shows up in your conversations. If the banter flows easily, grows naturally, and neither of you seems to want it to end, that is a powerful indicator that the chemistry is very real. People simply don't offer that kind of energy unless something deeper is stirring beneath the surface. Banter is never just banter. It is attraction disguised as a game, interest hidden behind laughter, affection expressed through daring play. Another subtle yet powerful sign of mutual attraction is the way the entire energy of a room shifts the very moment two people come near each other. You know the sensation. Everything seems slightly different the instant they arrive. Outsiders might not notice it, but for the two of you, it feels undeniable. The conversation becomes livelier, the gestures more expressive, the atmosphere almost buzzing with invisible electricity. Attraction changes the air itself, as if someone quietly turned up the brightness on the moment without saying a single word. This shift shows itself in small but telling details. Maybe you were distracted, tired, or even feeling bored. Then suddenly they appear, and without effort, you are more alert. Your posture lifts, your focus sharpens, and you feel a surge of energy as though someone struck a match inside you. On their side, you might notice the same things. Voices warming, laughter arriving more quickly, attention narrowing whenever you are near. That shared elevation isn't an accident. It's your bodies and minds responding to possibility, to desire, to the excitement of each other's presence. Compare that feeling to how you behave around someone you are not attracted to. Your energy stays steady, maybe polite, maybe kind, but there is no sudden rise of adrenaline, no rush of blood, no awakening of the senses. But with someone who draws you in, everything changes. Your heartbeat races faster, your mood rises higher, your awareness sharpens. That's not coincidence, it's biology at work. Attraction is designed to wake us up, to make us feel more alive, because it nudges us toward connection. And when the other person feels it too, you sense the reflection of that charge in their energy, bouncing back to you like light off a mirror. Sometimes that shift can make an ordinary interaction feel extraordinary. A simple chat about nothing important becomes electric. Jokes land harder, silences feel natural instead of awkward. Even the dullest topics suddenly seem interesting. And that's because the subject doesn't matter. It's the presence of the person that transforms everything. Their nearness colors the whole exchange, turning routine into memory, normal into unforgettable. What's even more fascinating is how this ripple of energy can be felt by others too. People around you might not be able to explain what they see, but they notice. They see the way you brighten when that person walks in, the way your voice shifts, the way your body leans without thinking. They notice the rhythm between the two of you, a rhythm that hums with something invisible but undeniable. That is chemistry. It doesn't need to be spoken out loud. It declares itself through the air you create together. And when attraction is mutual, it almost never stays hidden for long. energy shifts also bring with them a sense of comfort. Attraction isn't only about passion or intensity, it's also about ease. You might feel strangely calm, more grounded, even safer when that person is near, all while feeling more alive and excited at the same time. It's a paradox, charged yet calming, exhilarating yet soothing. That unique combination is addictive. It satisfies a deep need for connection while stirring a hunger for more, which is why you crave their presence again and again. You feel both at home and awakened in ways that are rare and unforgettable. So if you want to know whether the pull between you and someone else is genuine, pay careful attention to how the energy feels whenever you are together. Notice if things brighten, if conversations feel lighter, if your body seems to wake up in ways it normally doesn't. Watch whether the atmosphere shifts naturally without either of you forcing it, because that kind of change does not arise from nothing. It is attraction written into the air itself, silently speaking on behalf of both of you long before words are ever exchanged. Attraction doesn't always need to be spoken out loud to be real. It lives in the way two people lock eyes a little too long, the way their bodies lean closer without reason, the way their laughter sinks as if rehearsed, and the way the air feels different when they are near each other. These quiet signals, subtle, instinctive, and undeniable, reveal what words often cannot. So if you find yourself wondering whether the connection you feel is just in your head, pay attention to the silence, the gestures, the energy, because when attraction is mutual, you won't need a confession to know it. You'll feel it deep down, in the spaces where words fall short.